Hello everyone, welcome back to Mixbus TV mixing and mastering tutorials on YouTube. Today, a quick review and walkthrough of the new SKnote mix and mastering stereo double compressor. This is the first time that I tried this plugin, so I'm not familiar with it. I don't know yet which one are the applications that I will like it the best, but we are going to try on different material and see how it performs. This compressor is based on the Shadow Hills mastering compressor, as you can see from the GUI that resembles it. But they just started from that compressor and that concept, and they developed new features and modeled other components. The compressor has two sections, an Opto Compressor and a Vca Compressor. It has mid-side functionality, stereo or dual mono functionality. It has a sidechain filter, very useful for mixbus and mastering application. And one of the main differences of this compressor from the Shadow Hills is that in the Opto section, they modeled three different optocoupler. As you can see up here, you can choose three different modes for the Opto compressor. The first one, the old one, is very slow and very colored. It kind of rolls off the high end as you would expect from an old unit. It's very smooth, but it's very slow. You will see it when we tried it on the material. It's more suited for maybe acoustic material like jazz or even classic. So it actually models the aging of the components. The second one would be the same, but it has a little more grabby feeling and is modeled after new components. And the third one is meant to be more flat in frequency response and more fast, closest to what current production of Opto Compressor is today. Then, as we said, the Opto Compressor is followed by the Vca Compressor, a more SSL DBX style compressor, very snappy, very reactive, very fast. It has the regular controls that you can find in any compressor, so threshold, attack and release, a ratio, and the makeup gain. And this takes us to the output section of the compressor, where you have three different transformers. We said the steel for more character, the more colored are the three, the nickel for a little less character, and then the iron, which is the more transparent one. And the way in which they color the signal, it really depends on the dynamic of the material and how hard you drive it, which is nice to have such a dynamic and moving kind of saturation. So let's hear this compressor in action. We leave the optical out for now, the sidechain out, and we just use the Vca section, stereo mode on drums. I like how it tightens the kick drum. It has such a classy sound. I really like it, especially in this section of the drum here. It's a little more intelligible what it's doing to the transients and the kick drum, especially because there's no cymbals. Listen to it. Kick drum is woofy. Pretty nice. Nice distortion too. Let's switch to transformers. The nickel is cool too. I actually prefer the nickel transformer better. It has a very, very nice polished sheen on the top end. The steel is great. is kind of more aggressive. You can hear it on the hi-hats. The nickel is smoothed out a bit. It's very nice. Let's engage a sidechain. Not night and day difference, but it leaves the kick alone a little bit. Still tightens it up. Let's go crazy. You can pump. I imagine this to be very, very fun to use as a parallel compressor for drums because it can pump like crazy. Okay, let's try a lower ratio and a slower attack. Punch, all of a sudden. Let's try it on, for example, bass, and let's see the opto section. So let's take the discrete out and engage the opto. So as we said, we have three different opto mode: the old, the 8, and the modern, which is the more colored and the slowest of the three. Start the level match. Smooth. See how slow it is? This is not a bad thing. I like slow compressors. If you keep the material constantly in the knee of compression with a slow compressor, it can be very transparent, and this one, it has a very nice color, very warm sounding. Let's try the 8 mode. So this one is a little more grabby already without. But it holds in place the bass. Now, one thing that I'm noticing is the release is kind of midway between slow and mid. And on some material, like on this bass, for example, it can be audible, the action of the compression. So pay attention to this. Maybe it's not, the right material or the right settings for in this case, but it's something to be kept in mind. I like the old one, for example, between these two better. Without. Let's level match. See, you can hear it pumping. And this is because the release is, program dependent, and like I said, this is a very dynamic bass. So let's try the modern. Yeah, more aggressive right off the bat. Nice. Let's crank it up. See, despite the modern is faster, it's still a slow compressor compared especially to the Vca. So use it more like a leveler for macro dynamics, not for managing fast transients. It's nice. I gotta say, I prefer the old version between these three modes, at least for this bass. It rounds the transient very nicely. is low, yeah, but like I said, the trick here would be to keep the material constantly compressed. Let's add the makeup gain from the discrete just to level match. Yeah, the steel has this very nice distortion up the top, but I prefer the nickel. So let's try it on a full mix, which is what is pretty much advertised for. Let's start the default. VCA in. Is grabby. He's very grabby. You gotta pay attention with this one. On the master bus, you have to really just touch the needle because it gets grabby very fast. It adds a lot of snap to the drum. Listen to the snare, for example. Without. Wow. Snare pops out a lot more. Steel. Yeah, shoot me. I like the nickel transformer a lot. It adds a nice color, a nice polished feeling to it. The snare pops out like crazy and in a good way. That's a slower release without. Okay, you gotta pay attention to two things here. The fact that it pumps quite a bit if you set it wrong. So you gotta spend some time with it. I gotta spend some time with it. And the release, if you don't set it somehow in time with the song, the pumping can be a little annoying. But one thing I noticed is that you can go with very fast release without having it sound bad or distorting, which is very impressive. It grabs a lot. Man. But like I said, for 2 bus compression here, I wouldn't go more than 2 ratio, okay? I would stay probably 1-2, it seems perfect. Now, I'm not a fan of using Opto compressors on the 2 bus, but let's try, just for the sake of it, to turn on the Opto section and see what happens. Let's start with the modern. Gotta say, it's not bad at all. It kind of massages the vocals. When they say in the manual that the Opto section is frequency dependent, they're right. If you listen to it and look at the left meter, you can see that it is the vocal that is driving the Opto compression, when the instrument and the drums is driving more the VCA part. It's pretty cool. Without the Opto. And it rounds it off nicely. Try the other modes. It changes a lot when you go in old mode. Maybe not, definitely not the right settings for this mix or this material, but it's nice to hear a real change. Yeah, modern is definitely better for this. Okay, on the Mixbus, the difference between nickel and steel is night and day. Listen to the 250 range, 400 range, the low, mid-low area. Without. It definitely gets warmer, but for this mix is not appropriate. But the difference again in steel, iron, and nickel is pretty apparent. And following the manual, we know that the amount of color is determined by the input, by how hard you drive this compressor. It has, in my opinion, the right amount of options, but not enough to fuck with your head, if you know what I mean. You know, I hate when I have like plugins or hardware that have so many options that I just spend 2 hours trying all of them. Okay, I don't like that. This one is pretty straightforward. Like nickel, iron, and steel will not change night and day your mix, but it's pretty fast to decide which one it fits the song. In this case, nickel seems to be my favorite so far on pretty much everything that I tried. The Opto mode is very nice. I never heard any plugin that sounds so different from one mode to the other or one plugin to the other. They pretty much sound close one to another, all the Opto compressors, but this one behaves really differently, and it's a nice thing to have. It's a nice tool to have in your arsenal. And the VCA is very, very grabby. It can be very grabby unless you use it for parallel stuff. I wouldn't go overboard with it. I would stay in the 2-bus kind of mindset, you know, just a little bit of compression, unless of course you're smashing something on one of the parallel channel. So I guess this is it for today. Thank to Quinto and SKnote for hooking me up with this compressor. It is a very, very nice product. It should be still a special price going on, so and it's cheap as hell. It's like $30. So check their site out. It's definitely something worth investing in. That's it for today. Thank you again for sharing the videos and for all the nice comments that you guys leave me. The channel keeps growing like crazy, and I couldn't be happier about it. Stay tuned for the upcoming series on metal mixing, and if you liked the video, as usual, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and see you next time.